Article about the death of a nation, talking about the evolution from Negro to nigger to how do you pronounce it? Nigro.
Niggro. It's basically, ignorance is rewarded today by factions that allow and accept for us to not be at our cultural best. Not to say anybody has to be stale and stiff, but all the aspects of us as a people is being looked upon as a total joke in the eyes of white America and even the world at large. So I was kind of disgusted at just the fact that one day, last 10 days ago, I was burnt watching not only the whole thing of the UPN thing and the WB and every black person I saw on TV, they was buck dancing and smiling, and it's just that in order for a black face to be on TV, it always got to make you laugh. Now I like to laugh like the next cat,
right.
But every black face was like trying to go to their best. It just reminded me of stepping fetishism.
Right.
So I just got just wired, and then the Source thing happened, and then everybody. It's just like almost like you just can't be black and just be able to be at your best. Sometimes it's just that everything is imbalanced just the whole other way.
Right.
And I just got ticked. I said, really, what's been accepted in America now is the creation of a new race. Somewhere stuck between nigger and Negro. It's the Negro. It's accepted by white society as just being this type of person that could be derogatory to themselves, but safe for everybody else. And I just was like pissed, and I was wired.
In other words, people get a kickoff of us killing each other, shooting each other in the head,
of course,
and just being a fool.
Yeah, it's like, I'm gonna kill this nigga, I'm gonna do this to this nigga, but can't kill the nigga in themselves. So I'm like, this is created by this society, and sometimes people say, "Oh, Chuck, you deep." It ain't, it ain't the fact that I'm deep. I'm just normal, and the whole realm of everything else has slipped a notch.
Right.
30 years ago, it'd have been just called, well, this man just got common sense. But sense ain't common today,
right.
Except for the rapper. He's common sense,
right?
But everything else is done dipped to either sense or nonsense. And a lot of people feel that, like, oh man, yeah, you just getting too deep in it. I mean, damn, I just tell people straight out. You got shorties out there, 18 and under, who ain't able to navigate through the nonsense and the BS that is put out through the images of television, which works stronger than any other weapon ever before. It's
right.
A tool for some, and it's a weapon for others, and this weapon works against us. So if you older, like 18 and over, of course, nobody can tell you what to do because you grown.
Right.
But there's 12-year-old kids out there that ain't able to handle that, and they take on these images and point blank. I'm tired. What I really got tired of is I got tired of seeing somebody 26, 31, 33, 23 acting like they 12. Where, and in order to say, well, that's what's happening. That's what's fly. Now, instead of a 12 and 13 and 14-year-old looking to say, well, I'm trying to act like this 29-year-old. You got a bunch of 29, 30-year-olds trying to be acceptable to 16 and 15-year-olds. And to me, that's crazy. That's ridiculous. There's no other society in on this planet that works as backwards as black people are working in this country right now.
One of the things it seems like is that they reward people the younger you are, because you can get a job these days, usually because they can rip you off and not have to pay you a lot.
Exactly.
So in order for people to keep their jobs and get accepted in certain rounds, they got to act kitty-like.
They got to act kitty-like, and who's doing the hiring and who's doing the firing? It's usually at the person that says, all right, you can get that job if you capitulate and just regress yourself into this type of person, and we will pay you. And you could bling yourself and make everybody look like they're irrelevant because they have some intelligence. And you can't just, sometimes you have to look at it and say, you know what? I have my integrity, I got my intelligence, and all right, maybe I ain't blinging, but I'm BLIing. I got enough, and I'm understand where I'm at. But right now, it's just like white America is, where once upon a time, maybe some of our comedy made them laugh with us. Now they're totally laughing at us. And whether I look at it, we got 750,000 comedians out there. It's like yes, massa, and it's just like white lips everywhere. And I'm just like saying, we just need balance. So yeah, I was burnt last week, and anybody that wants to find out exactly what I was talking about, I wrote this essay called "Death of a Nation" because in 1918, the filmmaker D.W. Griffith, a white filmmaker, had depicted black people as being fools and buffoons, which sent an image signal across America that we were less of human beings based on the movie that he depicted. Right. And the name of the movie was called Birth of a Nation. So I just capped it with this essay saying Death of a Nation, and the same damn thing is happening. Whether it's from Oakland, whether it's like Long Island, whether it's Florida, it could be New Orleans, it could be Texas, it could be Detroit. And my whole thing is like, you see the same damn problem every damn place, and we got the nerve to be on TV. The exceptional few people have the nerve to be showing some ice up in the camera like most black people got that, or most black people ain't catching a bus and going to the laundromat or on drugs or trying to cop that last square or ain't got enough credentials for a job. But this whole thing of I got this, I'm better than you. I was just burnt last week, and the source thing was the Kappa. Because if you looked and said, okay, like this is representing black folks in 2001. I just said, you know what? If I'm white and I'm sitting in Iowa, I'm looking at this. It's got to be a joke. If I'm African and I'm looking at this, I'm like saying, yo, that's not me. If I'm Lithuanian, I'm like saying, what? They can't be real. If I'm Japanese or Asian or whatever, I'm looking at that and I'm like saying, yo, they 3 notches underneath what human beings should be. Yo, and if I'm black living in America, I'm like saying, yo, who the hell gave them TV time to balance it, to represent us all? And nobody, and then people had the nerve to say, well, hey, that's the way it is. And, that's the way it is. No, you know what? People need to be held accountable. And all these cats out here talking this thug nonsense and this and that, they just fooling themselves. The real thugs get the job done. They take on the forces that make us all look bad, that make us all live in bad conditions, and they deal with it. This playing thug, they might as well be in a sandbox, playing games with shovels and toys and whatnot. So I was pissed last week, and I'm still pissed today. It ain't nothing about bitterness, because it ain't got nothing to do with any of that. It just got to do with who gave these people license to represent all of us as a people. It's just like, the average kid in school, he can't even sit in a classroom and act like he's intelligent, because he's got to be able to seem hip and seem fly and say, it's like this. I mean, yo, you was just an honor roll student last year, and all of a sudden you saw a couple of videos, you bought a couple of Wu-Tang CDs, and all of a sudden you want to get thugged out in the 8th grade. But it's not his fault. It's the fault of, punk adults who are afraid to check a young cat like that and communicate to what he's checking into. And therefore, when that happens, we just let everything go for broke, and we wonder why we be in the situation we in.